Chapter 16, Marketing Strategy. When you've completed studying this chapter, you should be able to answer the following questions. What types of business and marketing goals are there? What is marketing strategy? How do we do strategy? What are the key marketing metrics we want on our dashboard? Strategies. One strategy is decreasing costs. So there are variable costs and there are fixed costs. Variable costs are the cost to produce each item. So this would be the actual materials and labor. It could be the parts that you ordered that if you don't produce them yourself, anything that has to do with producing the product goes into the variable costs. So if you have a decreased cost strategy, you'd want to find the items at the lowest price, the lowest cost for you that you would need to then produce your product. If you paint your product, so you'd want to find a supplier that provides the paint that is what you need as far as the quality and colors for the lowest price. If it's a microchip, you'd want to find the company that produces the microchip at the lowest cost. Search for the lowest cost suppliers. Now that we're in a global society, that search could be Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, Central America, wherever your search takes you to find the actual supplier who will produce the product that you need at the lowest price. Reduce or eliminate errors in production. This all goes back to scientific management, Frederick Taylor. Going through, and in today's world, it's called Six Sigma, or ISO 9000, or one of the 9000s. There's lots of numbers in the 9000s. Different industries have different numbers for ISO certification. The different black belt, green belt types of signification. Then say what your quality is and how to reduce your actual labor costs or how to be more efficient. For example, internet speed. When I'm doing these lectures, it takes longer to then save the lecture, convert it to MP3, upload it to YouTube, and label everything. It takes me longer than any of these lectures to do all that because of the speed of the internet on campus. If they increase the speed of the internet, then my productivity would be higher. However, we don't have a decreasing cost, variable cost strategy when your labor are salaried, because there is no decrease in costs if you have them able to do things faster. Fixed costs. That would go into upgrading the equipment, increasing the internet speed. Fixed costs, reduce budgets on advertising, taxes, payroll, utilities, outsource when cheaper. If so, human resources is the department that's been outsourced the most in recent history. There are many human resource management companies that will do all of your HR features. There are many payroll companies that will take over and do all of your payroll, all the tax deductions, create the pay stubs, have the money transferred into the bank account if it's direct deposits, do the W-2s at the end of the year. So if that company can do it cheaper than if creating your own department or keeping your own department, then you would eliminate your department and just outsource it to that company. And that would be decreasing your cost strategy. Another strategy is increasing revenue. Increasing sales volume grows the market or grow the market share. There's two ways you can increase your sales volume. You can change the price by raising the price and adding benefits. So many times auto manufacturers will do that. They'll come out with a new design or new features, and then they'll raise the price. The new Ram pickup trucks, they have the huge screen on the inside, so they raise the price dramatically. They'll have a new engine, and they'll raise the price dramatically because of the new engine, even if the new engine doesn't cost any more to manufacture. For example, the 6-cylinder and the Hemi engine, which is a V8 5.7 liter engine, costs exactly the same for them to make. But because the Hemi engine has more horsepower, they charge more for it. Decreasing prices and increasing volume is a way to increase revenue. So if you have a sale on something, all of a sudden people will buy more of it. As I'm recording this, it is 2 days before Christmas, and there are a lot of sales going on to help increase the revenue. It'll decrease profit per item, but if you sell more items than you would at the regular price, then your overall profit would be higher and your revenue would be higher if you sold more items to make up the difference in the price difference. BCG matrix. BCG stands for Boston Consulting Group. Boston Consulting Group is actually an actual consulting group up in Massachusetts, and they came up with this matrix many, many years ago, and it's in most marketing books, textbooks. So it's a matrix of 4 different categories. One's a star, and this would be the product that just shines above all the other products. For Apple, it's the iPhone, right? The iPhone shines above all the other products. It's the star. But it's only a star for a little bit of time before it burns out. They have to create an improved iPhone, which is once a year. Okay? But it has strong growth during that year, and they invest a lot of money into creating the new one. The next one's a cash cow. This is a mature but still selling product, low fixed costs and huge profit margin because you've already paid for all the fixed costs and all you're doing is paying for variable costs. The factory's already been paid for, the machines to make the product have already been paid for, and all you're paying for is the materials and the labor to make the product, the variable costs. And there's no real investment needed because people will continue to buy it because it's a mature product and they've always purchased it. The best example I can think of is Clorox bleach. That's a cash cow. They don't do anything with it, people still buy it, and it just keeps bringing in profits. Dog is the worst of the worst. No growth, no profit, discontinued production and sales for all the dogs that you have out there. So any product that you're like, why are they still making it, would be a dog. Right now, the product would be DVDs. They're dogs. DVDs are dying. They're about to be extinct. Of course, they'll still have some out there because they have warehouses full of them. But now with Disney Plus and all the other streaming channels that are available, there's no need for DVDs. So DVDs will be on their way out shortly, and we'll just have streaming. The question mark's the unknown. Too early in the production life cycle, an unknown market. Disney Plus might be an unknown because it's brand new and we don't know how it's going to take off, if it's going to take off, and if it's going to produce profits. We'll have to wait and see. SWOT analysis. SWOT, or S is the strengths. These are the favorable. This is your core competency. This is what makes core competency is what makes your company different than all the other companies. What makes your product, your brand different than anything else out there. W is weakness. These are unfavorable. Source of losses. So your weakness might be, as I mentioned before, human resources. That might not be part of your core competency. You just had it because you had to have some way to get people paid, and you have lots of problems with it. So the best thing to do is get rid of it and outsource it. Now, sometimes you can't always do that. Like if recruiting is a weakness. HR recruiting, or like university student recruiting. And there really is no outsource for that except for electronically. Maybe your computer system is not up to date and it's not advertising, marketing the university through social media or other avenues that are in electronic. So you could outsource the actual marketing of it through social media and then increase the expenditures on the recruiter budget so that you could pay more or hire more recruiters to go out then and follow up with the social media and other internet marketing. Opportunities, these are external. The strengths and weaknesses are internal. Opportunities and threats, the O and T, are external. Opportunities are market conditions favorable to core competencies. Okay, so electric cars are an example. If all of a sudden gasoline was $8 a gallon, those market conditions would be awesome for electric vehicles. Okay. Threats, the electric vehicle, Tesla, are huge threats to every part of a gas engine, every manufacturer of those parts. So the engine, the transmission, the exhaust, and so on and so forth. Every company that makes those products, electric vehicles are a threat to them. Okay? Because there's a paradigm shift taking place from gas to electric. And that paradigm shift will take a decade, but if you don't plan for it, then at the end of the decade or thereabouts, you won't have a business anymore because everybody will be shifted to electric vehicles and you'll just be producing gas engines and nobody will be purchasing them. So you won't have the newest technology. And that's an overview of Chapter 16, Marketing Strategy.